All right. This is Paula Switzer Potter in the Kansas City area. Thank you all for being on the webinar today. Just to really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be here. And I want to welcome everyone that's joined. I know we have some customers on the line. We have some folks that are looking at send out cards, how to utilize it in their business or their lives. And we have some actual business partners on the line. So a big welcome to all of you today. And just again, we've got about an hour's worth of material here I'm going to be covering, so I'm going to be going fairly quickly through it. I have one disclaimer, and that is that I have my office out of my home, and I have a dog that's about 2 years old. So if all of a sudden he sees somebody walk by and you hear him bark, it will probably alarm me as much as it does you, but just don't worry about it. We'll go on from there. So again, what I want to share with you today is that the information that you'll be taking a look at, I'd invite you to get back to the person that asked you to be on the webinar today, because they can fill in all the holes that I might miss as far as I'm going to go a little bit into some pricing, but they'll be able to help you get started with whatever seems the best fit for you. So let's talk about a couple logistics for the webinar just to get us started here. Where you can find things on your screen, I want to talk about that for a minute, how you can participate in the session today, and how to minimize distractions. And of course, I say that, and then I have a little dog here. Usually my husband can work from home, but he wasn't able to do that today. So try and stay plugged in as much as you can. So on your screen, what you'll see, and it's probably more of an orange arrow than this, but you'll see a little arrow up probably typically in the upper right-hand corner that you can click on that, and that will either open up or collapse this little control panel here. And in the control panel, what it will allow you to do is to put a question in, a chat to me. There's also an area where you can raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand, I think I can unmute you, so we'll give that a shot. Or at least type in your questions that you have, and I'll try and get to those as quickly as possible. So we'll do that as well throughout the session. So I'll kind of keep an eye on the question and chat area there. Okay, so let's look at what we're going to cover today. I want to just very quickly share with you how I came to use send out cards and how it fit into my business and my life. We're going to share a little bit of the history of the company of send out cards. I'll give you a tour around the system. And then we'll talk about how to create a holiday card, because hopefully that was what was appealing to you. And so I want to talk about our campaign function, which is just an awesome tool that we have, or a part of the system that's available. And then, like I said, I'll lightly touch on cost to get started and try and answer any questions that you may have. So let me just talk for a minute about my story and kind of share a little bit about that. So I was a small business owner for over 20 years. I had a training consulting company that did a lot of leadership and team building. We were a big distributor of something called the DISC Assessments, D-I-S-C. I just sold that business about a year and a half ago now, so that I could have more fun and more time in my life rather than having employees to have to deal with and all of that. But I did own a small business, and when my very dear friend and person that introduced me to send out cards, Kathy Powell, showed it to me, I immediately saw it as a productivity tool, a way for me to be able to stay in touch with my contacts and my customers and my prospects, and to really do a better job at follow-up. I mean, I always knew the importance of sending thank you notes and following up with folks and thanking them for their business, but my intentions were much better than my follow-through on that. So I immediately saw it in that way, and then I started to experience really great results with my business. I had a lot more referral business coming in, and my business continued to grow, which is a great thing, because then I was able to sell it, as I mentioned. So that was really an awesome thing. And what happened over time was that send out cards, and with that's the abbreviation, SOC, send out cards got into my heart. I really started to see what a big difference it made in the people's lives that I sent cards to. And we can also send gifts and some really cool things like that. And so I just felt like it was really important for me to be able to share it with others, almost as if it was an obligation, because I think, there goes the dog, I felt like there was just such an important thing lacking in our society today, and that's that whole thing of, really kindness. So that's where I saw Send Out Cards really being able to help me and to reach out with kindness to others. And then it also provides an additional revenue stream, which continues to grow. And again, that's what I love about Send Out Cards, because we say we get paid for being nice to people. And so that's really fun to be able to do that and make a difference in people's lives. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let me share a little bit about the history of Send Out Cards. It actually was founded in 2003. We talked for a while, was it 2004, 2003, but really we say 2003, so somewhere along in there. And we have a twofold mission with Send Out Cards. And let me share with you what that mission is. Send Out Cards was started by a wonderful man by the name of Cody Bateman. It is actually headquartered in Salt Lake City, and we're a member of the Direct Selling Association. And Cody, when he created Send Out Cards, it came out of the idea was formed out of a very tough point in his life. He'd lost his older brother, Chris, in a very tragic accident. And Cody wanted to do something to honor his brother, which is pretty amazing, and that's what he has done with Send Out Cards. So the twofold mission is to help millions of people act on their promptings. Cody's actually even written a book called Promptings, and what he refers to as a prompting is that little voice, whether you think it's maybe your higher power, or it's just your guardian angel, or a nudging, or your intuition, or whatever it means to you. But when someone comes into your mind, there's a reason for it. And so it's important for us to be able to act on that prompting. And he actually started the idea of this whole thing long before we had the internet available, way back in the 80s. And he created some cards, and he would sell those cards, and he had a little card system. And over time, obviously, we've been able to do so much more with it. So that's the first part of our mission statement. The second part of that is to provide a vehicle for financial freedom. I think that's one of the things as a business owner, when you have employees and you have a lot of customer demands, that you may be doing well financially, but you may not have the time freedom. And so this allows you to build that financial freedom and that time freedom down the road where, you can live the life. It kind of can be a vehicle for funding the things that are important to you, whether it's a special organization or a particular cause that you're really wanting to contribute to, or it might be taking your kids around the world, whatever it is there. So we are a little bit different in that we don't do any advertising. We only have raving fans, and we do have a lot of those. So really important to be able to think about how we advertise, which is really just through those of us who are raving fans, customers and business partners. We're an international company with phenomenal growth. We continue to see the company expanding. We're already in 5 or 6 or 7 other countries besides the United States, such as Canada and Ireland, England, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, and we're just continuing to grow. So again, pretty exciting. I think what I'm going to do, and this is going to require everybody to participate, so if you've kind of been not paying as much attention here, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. So I kind of want to see where everybody is located. So I'm going to put up a poll here, and all you have to do is click on where, and I only had a few options here, so middle part of the United States is anything from, Minnesota down to Texas and in between there. So where, I'd just like to know where everybody is located. So if you would take a minute and just vote, if you would. And it looks like we still have a couple folks that haven't voted. Okay, those are coming in now. So just select one of your options here, if you would. That would be great. I'll give you just another 30 seconds or so to make your vote. And we'll kind of see where people are coming from that are on the webinar today. So let's look at that. Okay, so I am going to do this, and I'm going to share the results with you. So that's kind of interesting. We can see that we have about a split right down the middle there. 33% of the group, a third of the group are from the West Coast area, a third are from the East Coast, and a third are from the middle part of the United States. So thank you for participating in that. I'll do another poll a little bit later. I kind of like to do those because it gives me a chance to interact with you, at least in some way there. So again, we are going to be a household name, and the great part is what we're doing is we are doing the same thing that Netflix and iTunes and Amazon have done, taking an offline product and putting it online. But the exciting part is that we, who are business partners with Send Out Cards, get to share in the revenue of the company. So rather than spending money on advertising, we're putting it back in the pockets of those that are business partners with Send Out Cards. So if that's intriguing to you, again, make sure that you get with the people that have invited you here today, and they can tell you more about that. Okay, so these are cards that you can create from the comfort of your home or your office. We are going to talk about Christmas or holiday cards today, but I also want to make you aware that we have lots of other uses for the campaign function. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. You can also today do cards from your cell phone, which is amazing as well. Those of you that are on an iPhone or an iOS platform, we currently have the campaign function on that. Those of you that are Droid users, that campaign function is coming soon, but you can still send an individual card to anyone in the world just from your smartphone. So really a great opportunity to be able to do that. It's a free app available for iOS and Droid. Ease of use for quick follow-up, and you can add a picture and send it on the spot. And you can also add a gift to your card. We have just hundreds and hundreds of gifts in our catalog. I'll try and show you a couple of those in just a minute here. And you can create your own card, or you can use a campaign card of your choosing. We now also have some wonderful campaign cards that can be loaded into your account depending upon what product or package you go with. So that also is a wonderful opportunity there to do that. So, okay, let me throw one more. Let me see. I think I'll wait for just a minute, and then I'll throw another poll at you here. All right. So once you get your card created, whether it's several cards, like 100 cards that you're going to send at once, or just one individual card, what we do at Send Out Cards in Salt Lake City is our staff will, first of all, they print it, and then they address it, stuff it, lick it, stamp it, and send it to the post office for you. So you get this is what kind of the envelope looks like here. So postage is a little bit more than that. It's 47 cents, but we are the purchaser of the most first-class stamps in the United States. So that also is something that we kind of share. So before I jump into the system, let me talk about the fact that Send Out Cards is an incredible relationship building platform. You know, we talked earlier about the importance of sending kindness out into the world, and there are so many things that we can do when we have those promptings, you know, to tell somebody that we're sorry. It was nice to meet you. I appreciate you. I love this little dog here. You're amazing. Congratulations. Just thinking of you, and many, many more things. We can use the campaign feature to do birthday cards, to do anniversary cards, to do open house cards, and of course our holiday cards there. And speaking of holiday cards, all right, let me put another poll out here, and let's get you to vote on this. So how many holiday cards do you intend to send this year? And your choices are, you know, less than 20, 20 to 100, or more than 100. So if you would, again, take a minute and just vote so we can see how many cards you need to send this year. That also gives me a little bit of an idea where everyone's at there. Okay, looks like we just maybe have one more person that hasn't voted yet, so I'll give it just another second here. And, okay, all right. Okay, let's go ahead. Thank you for voting. Appreciate that. Let me share this with you. So if we look at the results, a third of you intend to send 20 to 100 cards. Two-thirds of you intend to send 100 cards or more. So again, fabulous way to be able to get all of your holiday cards done in a very small amount of time with not any kind of a headache. So that is also just a really great thing to know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a holiday card. Now, our website is sendoutcards.com. If you already have an account, then of course when you get ready to do this, you're going to log into your own account. If you don't have a Send Out Cards account yet, please get with the person that invited you, and they will provide you with a unique web link so that you can send at least 1 or 2 free cards on them. So that, I think, will be really important. All right, so I'm going to drag over here my Send Out Cards site. So I'm already loaded here. I've already logged in. And what I want you to notice over on the left-hand side is that we have this card catalog. And anytime you see one of these little drop-down arrows here, you can click on that, and that's going to bring up some subcategories of cards there. So if we click on the holiday one, obviously we have lots of holidays in here. Everything, you know, from Martin Luther King Day to, of course, Mother's Day, Easter, 4th of July, and so on. We're going to look in the Season's Greetings card area, just because well, it's not too late to do your Thanksgiving cards, but almost pushing that. So we'll assume you're going to send a Season's Greeting card. Now, just to let you know a couple of things, by the way, we have, oh my gosh, we have so many cards in our system. In our regular system, we have, gosh, I don't know, probably 18,000 cards, something like that. We also have another site available for those of you that have accounts where you can actually even get close to 100,000 cards. So you ought to be able to find one you like in many of the categories here. If you don't, we have this thing called Create a Picture Plus 2.0 card, where you can create and design your card from scratch, from start to finish. And for those that are real creative, they sometimes like to do that. Now, one thing you'll notice is that some of these have a little arrow on them. So underneath the card, this kind of lets you know it's a top. When you would open it up, it opens from the bottom up. So you've got a top of the card and you have a bottom of the card. So as an example, when I click on that, here's the cover of the card, and then there's a little inside message. Down underneath, you'll be able to read what it says. Sometimes maybe the font is a little bit difficult to read. May yours be filled with love and joy. All right, so if they don't, and then if it's an arrow out to the side pointing in, that means it's a left-right orientation. So you can always click on the front of the card to see what it says, see it a little bit bigger. It's the happiest season of all, that kind of thing. Let's see, let's just pick one. It doesn't matter. But before we do that, so we've got the cards here. What I want to share with you, and you can send one card just by going into the card catalog and clicking on it and taking it all the way through. But since we're going to be focused on quick, easy holiday cards, I want to share the campaign feature with you. Now, there's several things to kind of keep in mind on this. By the way, one other quick thing, if you hear nothing else that I say today, this is important. Under the Company tab, there's this wonderful thing called Tutorials. And you can click on the Tutorials tab, and when you do that, it's going to bring up all kinds of tutorials. So there shouldn't be any reason why you can't figure out how to do something. You can always call customer service, but all of these tutorials are great. Here's one on how to create and send a campaign. We did a workshop on Saturday here in the Kansas City area, and we started out by showing this tutorial. For sake of time, I'm not going to show it today, but they're there under the Company tab, and then again, Tutorials. So we're going to go to Main Menu, and we're going to just start working on our campaign. So we're going to come over here to where it says Create a Campaign. We're going to come down here to Campaign Manager and click on that to get us started. And okay. So, by the way, I love campaigns. So you'll see I have a lot of campaigns. I need to go through and clean them out a little bit. So we're going to create a new campaign, and let's make sure I don't have one already created. I tried to get rid of anything that I was kind of demoing with. So we're going to click on Create a New Campaign. Now, the first thing you want to do is name your campaign. So I'm going to just call this one 2016 Holiday Card. Let's do that. Here, I want to send this one from my husband and I, so I'm going to put Dave and Paula Potter. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. And then one of the things that I like to do, you don't have to do this, I'm going to actually move my address, and I'm going to put it in the address to line. If you had company, you could put their company name there too, because, oh, it's not going to, all right, I'll do that in just a minute. We'll do that in just a second. Because what I like to do, and you could put in the company name if you wanted to, but you might want your company name there. I like to, in all caps, just put happy holidays or happy birthday to you if it's a card like that that I'm sending. And then I'm just going to fill in my address right here. Okay, well, I would fill it in completely if I was going to do that. Whoops, it's not cooperating with me. 151. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, anyway, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh, and I've got taps. That's what was going on. Okay. All right. Sorry for the little blip. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So you name your campaign, number one, and then you select what you want on your return address, and you can change the return address. Let's say you have a business address and you want certain cards to go out with your business company name on it and that address, and then ones to your family and friends to go out with your home address. You can absolutely do that for any campaign you want or any individual card. So now what I'm going to do, step number 3 says create your card. So I'm going to click on create a new card for this campaign. Notice that it comes up and it gives me a place to put a name for that card. I could call it whatever I wanted here. If it's just one card that I'm sending in the campaign, I'll just usually leave the default of card 1. Where this becomes important, and this is another thing that's really slick, is that you can do a multiple card campaign. Let's say that you are an insurance agent and you want to drip on your customers or your prospects. So when you write the policy, you want an immediate card to go out that says, thank you for doing business with us. We look forward to a long relationship. And then maybe 30 days later or the second quarter or whatever it might be, the next quarter, 90 days later, you want a card that goes out that tells them about, you know, your umbrella policy and how important it is for them to be fully covered, whatever it might be, something like that. I'll just leave this at card 1 and I'm going to hit continue. And now this is where I'm going to go, and I'm going to go to my Season's Greetings area that we're in here, and I'm going to select a card. Oh, let's see. We'll just do this one. I think that's kind of nice. Notice over here you can do a postcard, 2-panel, 3-panel, and a big card, and you can also add that card to your favorites if you want to find it easily again. Most of the time, about 98% of the cards that I send out are 2-panel cards. I often, especially for family and friends, for my holiday cards, select a 3-panel card because I want to load it up with lots of pictures and I want to put my little Christmas message in there, kind of the letter of what the highlights of the year have been. But for right now, we're just going to create a 2-panel card. Now, if you want to, let me just tell you one thing you can do. Down here, you're going to see where it says Insert Name. So if I wanted to, I could actually come down here and I could select first name or first name and spouse name, or I could say, hi, Mr. and Mrs., and then last name, it would put in Smith, whatever it might be. I'll just put first name just for the heck of that right here. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, hope your holiday season is filled with love and laughter, something like that, whatever you wanted to say. Obviously, you kind of get the idea on that. Love, and then for those of you, and this is a feature that you can purchase if you don't already have that in your account, I can insert my signatures. I have several signatures, and I'm adding a few more. So I'm just inserting Paula and Dave. Now also, let me show you some other things that you can do. You can make this bigger. So we've got a little toolbar at the bottom here. I'm going to make that bigger. I'm going to make our name quite a bit bigger there too. We'll put that. And then I'm going to add in another space there. Now here's some other fun things. We have all kinds of fonts available. I'm not real crazy about Times New Roman. Maybe I'll select this one, Shadows into Light. I like that particular one. So I'll do that. If I also wanted to, I can actually use my own handwriting font, which I have in here. If I show you what it looks like, it's way down at the very end of my list, Paula, right there. So you can add your own handwriting font if that's a feature that you've purchased. And then I can change the color. I want to match this up, so I'm going to click on More Colors. Notice how this has turned it into a little eyedropper here. So I can use the whole wheel, or I can even come up over here to the top. This is the thumbnail of the front of the card. And maybe I want to match it up with the color. Well, it almost looks orange. Let me find one that's a little bit you kind of have to play around until you find what, because it's matching up all these different shadings and everything. Oh, that's too dark there. All right, I'm just going to stick with, let's just stick with that reddish one right there. That's more orange, isn't it? Well, you get the idea anyway. Okay, I'm going to click OK. I could add that to the palette if I wanted. And then if I wanted to put our signature in a different color, I could do that too. I'll just put that in blue. So there we go. Now, for those of you that are a little more creative and want to do some fun things, you can actually also bring over pictures. So maybe I have a picture that I really like that I want to bring in of our farm. Actually, this is not our farm, but if it was, I could do that. Or if I had another picture in here that was one of Dave and I should have moved some of these up to the top of the list here. But again, you can kind of get the idea of what we're doing here. So I can just pull over. I have lots of pictures. And actually, I probably have them in Dave and Paula. That would make sense. I'll just pull that over. So I'm going to pull a picture over here and just drop that on the card as well. So you can do some really cool things. On the elements, you can also get really creative. Let's say, as an example, that I wanted to come down here, and maybe I want to put a border and a frame around this, or come down and maybe I want to do a pattern as a background on the card. And again, I'm going to show you just a few things. Just know that you can play around with this a lot more if you want. I can bring this down here, and then I can grab this corner, and I can stretch this up. I'm going to do this over this way, make it a little bit better there. Bring it that way. And then if I want to go back, then what it does is it's going to load those pictures on top of the card. So again, you can be as creative as you want. I could maybe add a little wreath here or say Merry Christmas. There's some great clip art in the elements section. Templates is like really more of your borders and frames, if you will. There are some in elements, but this is where you're going to find a lot of them. And then the elements, you're going to get all kinds of clip art and a variety of fun things. So again, you can be as creative as you want. If I want to do a print preview, I always suggest that, to kind of just take a look at it. What you're looking for is you want to make sure that there's no white area. If you've got, let's say, this border here around the outside of the card, this little green line is where it's going to be kind of cut. So you don't want, let's say as an example that there was a lot of white space here. I would just want to go back and stretch this border a little bit more so that it fills up everything within the green space. Okay, so I'm going to close that. And then all I'm going to do is hit continue down here. I click on that. And now if I wanted to, I could do add a lot of gifts. And by the way, if you, let's say, wanted to just add gifts to a few people, you can create your campaign without a gift and then go back and edit the 2 or 3 that you want to send a gift to. We have so many fun gifts in the system. Notice that there's all these different categories over here. So if, let's say, I was wanting to send someone that had maybe a cat or a dog, we have lots of gifts even for pets and things. Oh, these are some wonderful little ones when maybe someone loses one of their pets. So there's a lot of gifts in here. We're only seeing a few of them right now. It's going to load some more in a little bit, I think, or else we just don't. We cycle through our gifts quite a bit. So it may just be that we don't have a lot of them available right at the moment. But let's look at a couple of other areas of gifts that we have available too so that you can see those. Let's go into gourmet foods. Our brownies are our #1 seller. People love those. When we go into holiday favorites, and we'll be adding so many of these for Christmas, we still have quite a few that are more for like Thanksgiving, and that's the pumpkin spice caramels. And you can do them in a bag or a box or whatever. This will show you how many points that particular gift is, and we'll talk about points in a little bit. And then the expense, which is your shipping and handling cost to actually send that gift. So if you want to see a little bit more about it, you can actually go here and it will tell you what is included in that gift. So I encourage you to look at the gifts. We also have wonderful gift cards. So that if you want to, let's say you've got a niece or a nephew or a grandchild that lives far away, and you don't want to go to all the trouble of getting everything, packaged up, you can include a Walmart card or a Target card or an American Express card. You can put those in, and that also is really great to be able to do that. So, okay, so let's come back. We're going to continue without the gift here so that we can just go ahead and see how to send this. Now, this is telling us it's going to go out immediately. You can also select a specific date. When you're doing a birthday campaign, you can select the person's birthday. I'm getting a beep on my headset, so I'm going to switch over here to my headset. Okay, so hopefully you guys can still hear me okay, maybe better, because it was getting a little faint, I think. But you can, select what day you want to send that campaign out, or the individual cards as well. Now, if you have a multiple card drip, which we were talking about earlier, where maybe you wanted to stay in touch with your clients every quarter, then the first card would go out immediately. If I was working on the second card now, I would click on this. I want to specify how many days before the occasion the card will be sent. So maybe I send the second card 30 days after the first one, which goes immediately. And again, if that doesn't make a lot of sense, don't worry about it. It's fairly easy once you get a little bit of a way of walking around the system. All right, so we're going to save that card, and we're going to go back to the campaigns. So now again, just to review, we've named our campaign. We've decided what we want in the return address. We've got our card loaded in our campaign. If I want to go back and change it, I could do that. Notice there's no gift attached. Some of you may have our custom brand manager. If you don't, you may want to consider that. I love this because I can choose from a variety of different backs that I want to put on the back of that card. So I think I'll put this one on. I think it says, "We wish you a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year." So that's the back I want to put on this particular card. With your custom brand manager, you get up to 10 custom backs, and you can rotate them in and out if you need more than 10. Just get rid of some. Now down here, it says Save Campaign, so I'm going to save that. By the way, if you don't have the custom brand manager and you don't have a need for that, then you would just do steps 1, 2, and 3. You would not have this as an option to select your back panel. All right, so now I have my campaign done. I've got the hard part done. I've created the card and the campaign. I've named the campaign, and so on. The other things that you want to think about doing is you want to set up a group. Unless you have just a small number of contacts and you want to send it to everybody in your contact list, or you want to pick and choose from your entire list. I love groups. And so under main menu, there's a function called groups. People sometimes think there's more to this than there is. All you're doing with the group function is you are naming your group. You're putting a placeholder for a group here. So if I wanted to call this the 2016 test group, let's just call it that, and I'm just going to click on Add Group, and it says, okay, successfully saved group. So I have the name of the group, but I don't have anybody in that group yet. All right, under your main menu, this is where under Contact Manager, if your contacts are already loaded, and you can upload those in an Excel spreadsheet. There are a couple of tutorials, again, under the Company tab, under Tutorials, that will help you get your spreadsheet ready and then upload your contacts. Or you can come in here and you can just click on New Contact and enter them one at a time. I love the import contacts. That's so much easier. But let me kind of show you this. When you get to the New Contact screen here, you're just going to enter the key information that you want. You have to have first name, last name. You can skip email. You have to have their address, city, state, zip, and select United States if that's where you're sending it to. We do send cards all over the world. And then you can keep birthdays and all of that. Down under here, this is where group membership goes. So if I was adding a new person in, I would want to make sure that I selected that 2016 test or that 2016 holiday card group or whatever it was that you called it. And then I would just hit save when I entered that particular person in. Now, so you would do that. So you've got your group created. You've added all your contacts. you've created your campaign with your card in your campaign. This is the really fun and easy part. Once you have everybody in your system, all you have to do to send your cards is you have to go and find a contact. Now, like I say, I use groups a lot, so I'm going to clear the group selection. If you remember, I created the name of 2016 test for the group, but there's nobody in that group because I didn't add anybody in it. Let's go back to last year because I'm not sure. I've been doing a lot of training for folks, but I don't have my holiday cards done yet. So let's go back to the group that I had last year, 2015 holiday card, family and friends. This will be 2016, whatever you called that group. So I'm just clicking on the group, and then I'm coming down here and I'm hitting Find Contact. It's bringing up 106 people from this particular group. So now I can go down here and I can say, well, let's see. I don't think I need to send one to this person anymore. So I'm going to unselect them. I know deselect them. Sharon has moved, so I don't have a correct address. I need to go back and get that later. Let's see, so you would just go through and you would decide anybody that was not going to get that card this year. So you have the folks selected. You went to find a contact. You brought them up by the group, and then so now they're from the group, they're in here. And now I am going through and just deselecting anybody that I don't want that to go to. This is so amazing. I just go up here to campaigns, and then I go to select campaign, and I come down here to, what did we call that one? Let's see. I think we called it 2016 holiday card, 2016 holiday card. All right. So all I would have to do is select the campaign I want to use to send to these people. Remember, you're going to go to the main menu, find the contacts, search on the group, bring them up, and then once they're up, after you've decided which of these selected contacts you want to get that holiday card, all I have to do is find the campaign, so select a campaign to send a campaign to be selected, and then all I have to do is hit Send Campaign to Checked. And it's going to come back and it's going to tell me sending this is going to cost you X number of points and $55.89 in postage. It tells me what I have. I'm good to go. If it didn't, it would give you an error message, not error message, but a kind of a warning here that you need to buy points and expense. I always try and do that before. I'm going to cancel that one because we're not really going to send it today. But the way to get to your points and expense is if you just click on your account up here, there's a little button that says Add More, and you can go in and you can purchase more points and more expense there. So that really is how you send your campaign card. Now, a couple of quick things, and then I'm going to show you just the wrap-up with a couple of other slides that I want to share with you. And by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to type those in the chat box there. One other thing I want to show you, which we are just really excited about, is that we have just recently come up with some wonderful campaigns. If you don't have these in your system yet, again, this is an option that you may want to purchase. By the way, this is pretty cool. I can go in, you'll notice that there's an edit and a share and delete button for all of these campaigns. So I could actually even share a campaign to one of you. If I had a card that you really liked and you said, hey, would you mind sharing me that thanks for the referral campaign that you've created, I could actually share that into your account. Well, if you scroll down here a little ways, you'll notice that there are 6 cards right here that I can't share. And that's because those are very special cards. And those are cards that we've sent out cards that's just recently created. We call them our first impression cards. We have 3 in a satin white finish. It's an upgraded cardstock and it's upgraded ink. And then we have a black satin finish, also 3 cards, which are available there as well. Actually, I've got a 4th one here because I put my picture on that one, so I'm kind of customizing it a little bit. But let's just look at one for just an example here. Let's say that you go out and you meet someone at a networking event and you want to send them a nice to meet you card. It was great to meet you. If I go in here to edit this card, let's go in and see if I can see a little bit bigger snapshot of it. It's still going to be pretty small. But the inside of it, I've changed this just a little bit to put my own name and information in here, but you could add your own picture in here. The front of the card looks like this. It was great to meet you, and they are just a really high quality card here. So those are available, and again, that might be something that you want to talk to the person that invited you on the call today. The other thing is that we've just also added some wonderful holiday series cards. Again, this is a separate purchase price, but let's say that you wanted to do a holiday card, and this is also a really nice card. I actually sent myself one just recently here to take a look at it. Same high quality. And this is what the front of the card looks like here. Happy holidays. We actually even have kind of off-the-shelf, ready-to-go packages available now. So if you want to send 100 cards, we can get the card done for you and for a certain amount. And it's just really very much a one-stop shop kind of thing. So if you are thinking, gosh, I love this, but I don't have time to create this, again, talk to the person that invited you. They can just get your picture that you want inserted here and what you want to say and get those cards done for you. So it's a very easy way of being able to handle that. So those are available as well. All right, and again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to just send me a chat on that. Okay, so let's take, I want to make sure we don't have anybody, it doesn't look like we have anybody that has asked questions yet. Okay, so you might be saying, okay, so how do we get started with this? Well, we have customer bundle packages, and there are several options available. Our popular products that are included in these bundles are things such as, all of the bundles include the Custom Brand Manager. That's so you can brand the backs of your cards with a personal picture or your website information or whatever it might be. We have signatures and your font even that you can purchase in some of the bundles that are included in some of them. There's different storage options to make sure you have enough storage for all your contacts and your campaigns. A couple of bundles even have what we call our relationship building course. MRM stands for Master Relationship Marketing, which is just one of the best ones out there in terms of how to really build relationships using send out cards. We have testimonials, we have case studies, a little bit of everything. So really some great things there. And then, again, ready to send professional cards, the ones I was sharing with you. So you pick what works for you best, and that's what's really important. So I want to encourage you to send a free card. If you haven't done that already, get with the person, again, who introduced you to send out cards. They will set you up with a gift account, so you can send a free card or get started with your very own account right away. And I also want to, I think we've got just a minute here, so let me share just very briefly a little bit about how you can get started. Let's see, I think this is where it's at. If it isn't, I may have to yeah, okay. Yeah, we can talk. Now, it's going to tell me I've already purchased all these because, again, I've got most of them here. But as an example, we have what's called a personal. Actually, you know what? I'm going to find something that's a little bit easier, I think, to show you than this one. It'll make a little bit more sense to you. So I'm going to go over to our company and click on the downloads in case you're trying to figure out where I'm going on this. And we have a wonderful thing that I believe it is plans and packages here. Yes, this is probably the best way to kind of give you a sense of how our systems work. All right. So we have bundles available. You don't have to purchase a bundle. We do think it's a great value, and what you'll notice is these are the costs of the bundles at the top here, and then down here we see the value for each of the bundles, so you always get a lot more value than what you pay for it. I'll just take this middle of the row bundle here just as an example. So this is a one-time cost of $395. There is a slight annual renewal, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But that includes our First Impressions kit. It includes the Custom Brand Manager. If you were just buying it a la carte, that's $249 just by itself. You get your signature, your 6 signature series cards, your 6 custom back templates. You get several things along there. Access to the relationship marketing Training Portal, which is the online program I mentioned, handwriting font, and 4 signatures. Over here you just get the signatures. You don't get the handwriting font. You don't get the first impressions kit, and so on. You get the 200 bonus points. Those are points to get you started. It's a great time of year to be doing that. And then you get a little bit more storage than you do in the basic storage over here. You can kind of look at that. It also includes a 7-touch celebration campaign. So that's a pretty cool thing, like a birthday card and a nice to meet you card and a variety of different ones there. So the bundles are something that you might want to take a look at. And then what you'll also need is you're going to need something on an ongoing basis for your points. This is our best option right here, this preferred monthly package. It's our preferred customer package. So this is a $39 a month option. You get 100 bonus points every month. There's several reasons why I think this is important. First of all, you get the lowest price point of only 39 cents. When it's almost making that too dark. There's no commitment. You can cancel online anytime. You can purchase with a bundle or add a bundle later. You use points for cards and gifts, so that's something that's really important to know. And your points roll over for up to 18 months. So I have a couple of accounts as an example that they primarily send out cards for their holiday cards. So they'll activate their subscription maybe around September, start using their $39 a month. They'll let it go, maybe through February, and then they might let it sit dormant for a while because they've got more points than they need, and then they'll start it back up again for the next holiday season. So it's pretty flexible, whatever you need to do there. Then with the retail package and the pay-as-you-go, those are some other options there. We have a $9.80 a month, which gives you 20 bonus points per month. You are paying a little more for your points, 49 cents a point. And by the way, I didn't mention this, most of our cards take 3 points. So at this 39 cents a point, you're looking at $1.17 a card plus your stamp. Over here, you're paying 49 cents a card, so you're paying, what is that, $1.47 a card, I believe, if I do the math right on that. We also have a pay-as-you-go. This is our most expensive one, but it's still an option. If you want an account, you don't think you'll use it much, but you just want to buy points as you need them. And then the other thing that you can do is you can add a distributor option for $50. That's a fully refundable one-time fee of $50. There is an annual renewal on your distributor option of $59 a year. That keeps your website and all of the things that you have available to you as a business partner. I have to figure out how to get rid of, okay, there we go. Sorry. And then also on the bundles, the other thing I want to mention is that the bundles do have a small annual renewal fee because that's for your custom brand manager to keep all of the storage of your brand backs out there, as well as keeping your storage intact. So as an example, on this personal bundle, which is $195, it's a $49 annual renewal fee. But again, you can get with the person that invited you here today, and they can give you all of the details about what package is right for you. So I'll tell you what, I kind of went through that pretty quickly, but I encourage you to get your holiday cards done on time. We are suggesting that if you want to make sure they arrive by Christmas, if that's what your aim is, make sure you get them in the mail by December 15th. We're looking at just a month away. Can you believe that? We have people that do New Year's cards, or they might do Hanukkah cards, or whatever it is. So think about when you want those cards to go out, and then just make sure you get them done by the date that you want them to get there. December 15th, again, is our date for guarantee arrival on Christmas. The thing I will share with you, though, is that even if you're a couple days late, people still love getting a holiday card. So don't let that bother you if you get in a pinch and you don't have your cards quite done by December 15th. I say go ahead and send them anyway. So anyway, I think that is all that I wanted to share. I want to just thank you guys for being on the call today, and just really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to do that. I'm going to stop the recording here, and thank you again, and tell you to just have a wonderful holiday season. Appreciate you being on the call.